50s, 60s, 70s. I guess the younger it makes it a little, and you feel like you should have life all figured out by now, this live is for you. So, just to clarify, this is not a polished plan. This is me sharing my plan and what I'm working on and my journey with you. So, I do have some notes because, of course, I guess it's 68. I can't always remember everything, all my points that I want to try to make. But I'm giving myself permission to stop fighting when things are not working and to realize that it's not me that needs fixing, that maybe it's the schedules that need to be changed. So hopefully, you can find one item at least today that you can take away with you that will help you navigate life better as you go through the aging process, navigate it better for yourself. So, the first thing, like I mentioned, is that what I'm realizing is that if there's something that is consistently causing me problems or consistently bothering me or irritating me, that it's not me that I need to fix, but it's the system that needs to fix. So as we get older, as I said, I mean, go back the other way, 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever, we should not be constantly having to load ourselves up with guilt. So in my case, one of the things that I'm constantly struggling with is keeping up with all the paperwork and all the filing that comes through because as a small business owner, I get a lot of paperwork. I make my own products, so there's a lot of paperwork for that. And just life in general has a lot of paperwork. So it keeps stacking up. And what I'm realizing is that I need to look at it in little bites, even just trying to do a small amount, even if I just open the folder, count that it's a win for the day anyways. Hi, is it Aiden, I guess. So hi, thanks so much for joining. So I hope you find at least maybe one tip today that will help you with your own life journey as we all go through older. So another twist that I'm thinking about doing to try to deal with that is to stack all the filing into one basket. And when it gets to the top of the basket, then it definitely becomes a priority. In the meantime, hopefully I can work on it bit by bit, but that will help contain where I'm not feeling guilty about it all the time because it's sitting there all the time. So, hello, Earl's mom. Mons or whatever. I'm terrible with names, but I really appreciate you being here and mentioning something in the chat. So um, then I just want to reinforce that I'm not trying to change my whole way of thinking about something. I'm not trying to even necessarily like it. I'm just trying to make it a lighter job or chore or whatever that I have to do. It's Mons. Okay, thank you. Earl's Mons. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. So it's great to have you here with me today. And once I'm stopped kind of forcing the discipline on things, then that helps relieve some of that guilt because particularly as a small business owner, I'm trying to keep my customers satisfied, trying to keep myself on track with what I'm trying to accomplish. My husband has mobility issues, so I have to deal with a lot with that. So there's a lot of moving parts, and it's easy to start feeling guilty and stressed out about all of that. And that's the last thing that you want to do. I mean, you want to try to be able to maximize some calm and some peace and feel better about your life. So that kind of moves me into one of the next things is you hear a lot about nature in general being good. I really enjoy getting out into nature. And that's part of the reason why we chose to live out in the country. But even though I live out in the country, I don't take advantage of even just going for a walk outside. We have a state park that's only 30 minutes or so away from where we live, and I don't take advantage of going to that like I should. But what you need to realize and think about is that something like that that gives you peace and calm and helps you, it shouldn't be just an option for you. It should be something that you put into your regular schedule because it helps restore your spirit, restore your calm, um, all of that kind of good stuff. So I have committed to myself that I am buying a state park pass. I put it on my schedule for Wednesday that I'm going to try to take a drive over there and take at least a couple of hours to enjoy the peace and tranquility of the state park. Now, unfortunately, one of my assistant had a death in the family, so she's not going to be able to be with me to help tomorrow to get things ready. We start the Fort Worth Stock Show. We have to set everything up a week from yesterday, so next Saturday, this coming Saturday, and then the Fort Worth Stock Show actually opens on the 16th. So I've got, as I said, a lot of moving parts, but it's like if you don't prioritize some of the things that are self-care or important to you that help restore you, then they keep getting shoved back and back, and then they're never going to benefit you. So I know from personal experience that it's really easy to do, to let the filing stack up, to not go out into nature, to not do the things that really help sustain you and keep you calm and keep you grounded so that you can deal with all the little things that life throws out at you. So, Blee Bob, is that right? Thanks so much. And I appreciate the compliment. Hi to you. So again, I want to thank everybody that's taking the time to join me today to do that. So I'm kind of kicking off. This is my first live of the new year, and I wanted to share some of the things that I am trying to incorporate in my own life. And one of the biggest things, like I mentioned, is try to set some boundaries in place so that I have activities that sustain me, and also try to release some of the guilt of not maybe doing all the things that I think I should all the time. So, another thing is that at 68 is realizing that flexibility is going to be a big part of your life. Things change, and my energy level may change. Like I said, there's an issue with my assistant, unfortunately, and so my plan for tomorrow is not going to be the same as what it was when I was thinking about it 24 hours ago. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that, where you have a plan set and then life throws you a curveball or something comes up that you need to deal with. And instead of saying, okay, well, I was going to do A, B, and C, and now I still have to do D before I can do any of that, so I'm still going to get it all done. No, give yourself permission to make a change, to let go of some of that, to take a nap if you need to go for a walk, do whatever you need to do, and realize that being flexible is going to serve you better in the long run instead of committing to whatever that original set schedule was, where things have changed and they're not the same as what they were maybe even 24 hours ago, maybe 12 hours ago, or 2 hours ago. So, flexibility, I think, is important and essential and will serve you well, particularly the older that we get, because everything changes. I mean, that's life. So, one of the other things is that and this kind of follows along what I was just saying, but a lot of us, I think, feel like that to measure how good a day it was is how productive you were. How many things did you get done during that day? How much did you cross off your to-do list? But I think the older that we get, the more we should look at it in terms of how your energy level is at the end of the day. How do you feel at the end of the day, as opposed to how many things that you got checked off your list? For example, Friday, today's Sunday, Friday, I had a pretty busy day. I did get a video published, and then we'd been having problems with our 1998 truck. So we took it in, dropped it off. We had to go into Dallas to get some papers signed. Then I had to take my husband. Then actually we stopped and got lunch, and then I had to take my husband to a doctor's appointment. And then after that, we were able to actually go pick up the truck, which they actually got a new starter put on for us. And then he went home. Then I went ahead and went grocery shopping. Then I got home, unloaded all the groceries. And by then it's like 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I was pooped. And so, yes, I could have said, well, I really need to do this, this, and this for my business, or to finish up the day with more to-dos. And instead, I said, I'm taking a nap. And that I felt so much better when I got back up from the nap. And then I fixed dinner. And then that evening, I did a little bit more work. So I think you need to really honor your energy level, because if you don't, that's going to leave you with nothing left to give. Like, I'm sure you've heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. The older that you get, I think that's even more true than what it was earlier. So I just want to, again, encourage you to, as you go through this next year, instead of having more expectations for yourself or piling more things on, to instead, I guess, honor your own level of energy, because that is crucial, I think, to a long, peaceful, calm, happy life, I guess, if that's what we want. So nobody likes being stressed out or upset or feeling guilty or feeling like they're not doing their best or accomplishing what they want with their life. So I think if you look at it in terms of what your energy is allowing you to do, that is going to be a lot healthier for you, a lot more rewarding for you than looking at it in terms of how much did you get accomplished, how many boxes did you check off this day, and instead try to understand what's going to fill your cup up, what's going to ground you, what's going to energize you, and try to incorporate more of that into your life. And then also, like I said earlier, try to set some ground rules or guardrails, whatever, if you will, to contain some of those things that tend to be persistent problems. So like my issue with the filing, then set it where it's not an ongoing bother for you, where you can have a certain level. And then if it gets to that level, then yes, you've definitely got to deal with it. And maybe set a time every week or whatever. And then you could do a little bit that way too. Another suggestion that I thought was great, I mean, I've been kind of Googling and using AI with this a lot the last few days, trying to kind of understand what will help me, what will work for me, and hopefully maybe some of these suggestions will resonate for you as well. But I use Trello to try to help manage my calendar, my to-do list. I really like Trello, and a suggestion was to make a list of what not to do. So in other words, if there's something like right now, this coming week is going to be even more hectic than I originally planned. So I could put filing on there because it's not the end of the world if I don't get the filing done. So I could put what not to do, put no filing this week, or don't worry about a blog post this week, or don't worry about picking up something as far as the housework goes. So, whatever is going to help you preserve your energy for the week or the day or whatever, um, do that. So, because um, you need to keep your core energy going so that you can keep moving forward and doing all of it because um, that is what is important. So figure out a few things that help fill your cup up, if you will, that help increase your energy level, that feel good for you. Like what I talked about was um, trying to minimize or contain the disorder or chaos or whatever in my life. Also, getting out more into nature is very important to me. I think it tends to help most people ground. And then also realizing that flexibility, allowing yourself to be flexible, that if the situation changes, maybe you wake up in the middle of the night. Sometimes I have insomnia and can't sleep. And then I can get on my phone and look at stuff, which, yeah, I guess you're not supposed to do that, but I do it. Or maybe I get up earlier or later, whatever. You adjust. So give yourself permission to do that. Because in some ways, in a lot of ways, you're the one setting the rules for your life. So protect yourself, protect that energy, and enjoy your life. So, and thanks so much for dropping by. I appreciate that. And if you enjoyed some of this, this is some of this type of thing is what I also share in my regular videos. So you might want to consider subscribing to my channel. And of course, I appreciate comments or likes, anything like that. And thanks again so much for being here. So y'all take care. Have a great day. And I hope I see you around soon. Thanks again. Bye for now.